And so here we go. And what would you like to talk about today?
Hello. First off, I was just wondering, there was a certain image I sent over to Tracy, and I was just wondering what does that image stands for, if it has a meaning to it or a purpose. And it is the image of a triangle, a crop circle.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we are familiar with this image as we were viewing it through her eyes earlier when you brought it up. Mm-hmm. Let us see, what is the best answer we can give you for this image? It is a multidimensional tool. It is what you would call a portal or a vehicle of sorts. And often this could be compared to the Merkaba. When this one was looking at it, she kept saying she wanted to turn it and line it up. And that is not entirely off to do that. That is one of the things that can be done when this is in an actual physical makeup of sorts. This is an energy source for many. There are many levels to the answer to this question. And
I understand.
we will try to do our best to get you the best answer we can through the one we speak through.
Okay.
We are giving her some information in her mind right now so that we can access a way to explain this to you. It is as if she's trying to make this a material thing, and it is energy. It is energy that you are working with. You can there is not enough knowledge here on the planet at this time to understand the resources of this energy. As you move into the fifth dimensional vibration and above, resources like this will be much more common. But this energy source is something that can be, you can use this to create and to manifest and to travel. And there are just so many uses for this design that you are showing on the screen. And this one is asking, what about the lines? What about all these other lines within the shape of this, what she is calling pyramid on top of pyramid? And the lines are also, much like we said, these are portals. These are energy facets. These are, this would do a lot with your intention, with your thoughts. As you work with it, we are seeing a way to kind of help you frame it. Just as you can see and create images with your third eye in your mind, and you can travel in your mind through time and space and do interdimensional things. This is much like that, only we would bring it into a physical world, into the reality that you consider the physical world. And you can do much the same things, much like you do in your mind. You will be able to access different dimensions, different places in the world through using this device and the energy that it creates as you used it as a vehicle or use it as a maybe an enhancer for something that you would like to create within your world, say a new home or a car or a trip, however you want to do that. Using the earthly references of things that people would like to create, this would be something that would help you enhance that, help you to create, much like the third eye creates pictures in your head or takes you traveling through time and space. Does that help?
Yes, I think this helps a little bit of answering the question. So it kind of helps you create and manifest, and I guess this is when you create this image in your mind. This helps you create and travel as well. If you create this image in your third eye, your mind.
Yes, this is Well, it would be much like the third eye. The third eye, if you were to sit in meditation with me right now and I took you into, just take you into that deeper space where you're connecting with the source energy, and then I said, now rise above your body and take yourself up into space. And then all of a sudden you can see yourself up in space. And what would that be like? And you're floating amongst the stars and the planets. And then if we said, okay, now take yourself, to the next place and the next place. That is how the third eye works. You can travel, you can move dimensions, you can use this as a vehicle with your etheric body. And what we are saying is that this drawing is an example of something that will be created for you in your next dimension, in your next vibrational reality. As you move into the new earth, this would be something that can be created for you, much like a car can get you from A to B. This is a vehicle that could get your physical body from your hometown to somebody across on the other side of the planet, and you could just bounce in and say hello and be back home to have supper with the family in the evening. These are portals. These are ways to transfer your energy to a new location, and your energy being your physical body. You can already do it with the pineal gland within the mind. The third eye is this vehicle for you in the energy body. This would be the vehicle for you in the physical body when the vibrations are a match to these vehicles.
Okay. So these vehicles are physical vehicles? These
That is the trick, isn't it?
seems like it.
Mm-hmm. It may seem like that is a logical answer in the physical human mind at this time, that it would be a physical vehicle, something with nuts and bolts. But this is something that can be created with energy. This is something that can be created with the right vibrational attunements for your physical body. When you raise your vibration, and as you have already noticed, you raise your vibration and now you're manifesting quicker and you're creating quicker, just like you are doing that, you're going to keep raising your vibration. And if this is intriguing, anybody uses as encouragement to keep bringing your vibration up, because this is what's waiting for you. You will be able to bring your vibration up and create this energy field around your physical body with your mind. Transport yourself to the location or to the dimension that you would like to be in. But you must have a much higher evolution of awareness to do this effectively. And so this is not just a vehicle that is, put in front of you at this time, when it would be like giving a baby car keys. We do not want to give people car keys when they're not ready to drive. So this is an evolutionary vehicle. As you get into the higher vibrations, into more access to the collective consciousness, the higher consciousness, and more information, you'll have a complete understanding of how to use and access this vehicle.
Interesting.
And we will add that it is put into the earth vibration, and this picture that you have shown Tracie, this picture that you have shown her of the crop circle, is then put there to bring it into the consciousness and awareness of all of you in that reality, so that you can be reminded of the access you have to knowledge and to free energy, to access the energy that is all around you. It's in the molecules in the air. It's in the physical body that you are. And you can create this vehicle. And that is why it was placed there as a reminder. And it is part of the Great Awakening or Ascension. As you look at that, you are accessing a memory, and it is bringing that vibration up for you so that you can remember and continue to raise up, so that eventually you will be able to create and access this code to bring in that vehicle.
Interesting. Would that be something with the new energy or the higher levels of energy that's supposed to be coming around the summertime, or is this down the road 5 years from now, 10 years from now, for this image, for this symbol?
That is such a good question.
next lifetime or this lifetime.
Yes. The longevity, by the way, of these lifetimes, as you keep raising your vibration, your longevity will expand.
I
So when
heard.
you say this lifetime, do not limit yourself to the age of your ancestors. You will live beyond. And when we look at this energy that is coming in the summer, this is a wave that will, the intention is we keep bringing up this energy that is moving through, and I believe we say August, that is the month that always pops in for us, as we are not in the same time frames and realities you are. We believe it is right around the August month that this wave will come in, and this wave is going to come in and it's going to move so many out of illness. And then there will be so much demonstration of miraculous healings and people moving out of a vibration that is not serving them anymore. And even if you were healthy, it is still going to raise you up higher. But for all of those that you know that keep getting chronically ill, have cancer, have illness within their body, this wave is going to come in and help move that vibration, move it up and out of the illness. And so that is something to look forward to. But we do remind you that this is something that you need to be on the path of ascension. You need to be on your awakening. You need to be tuned into your high self. You need to be doing the work to release the old and allow this new to come in. Because if you are not, then if the energy you are putting out there is, I'm always sick, I'm always this, I'm always that, and you are focused on the illness, it could have the opposite effect for you. And that is why it is a scary time, but it is a miraculous time. And I think we have mentioned that before. If you are not ready, you will not like what's coming. But if you are doing your work, you will enjoy the benefits of moving into feeling healthier, stronger, more energized, and also experiencing that longevity. And so it is an important thing to watch your thoughts and be mindful of what it is you are putting out into that field or frequency when it gets here.
Interesting.
We bounced off your question, though. You asked about this vehicle, and we want to say that it is coming, but it is not in this year. It is not in this year, and it could, we're going to look at this just real close. Some will access it in 2020, but not everyone will. Those that are ready will access it. And what happens when the ones that are ready to access it, and we will tell you right now, it'll be very few people, but those who do get to the point of being able to access this vehicle will put it into the collective. And just as everyone has all of a sudden started asking about timelines, that is because it's been put into the collective. And now everybody wants to talk about timelines, correct? And it is a fascinating thing to talk about, and it is right where we need everybody to be conscious of their timelines. Just like that, it will be put into the collective, and then more and more people will start to raise up and have access to that. We like to put timeframes on things for you because we know you like to have them to have a reference point of when this is going to come in. But we do say that we will see some people make it to that point in 2020, but expect for a long stretch of time before the main collective will follow suit in that. So when you say a 5-year plan, we would agree with that. You are looking at it gradually moving in, and by the 5 years out, you will see a lot more people accessing this, and then it'll be so common. It will be so accessible that it will be the new normal, and you will forget that you didn't have that before, which will be an interesting experience for you to go through. Remembering a time when you did not have it. It is like these cell phones you carry around. It is almost hard to remember when it was a landline back home hanging on the wall, and that was the only way someone could call you. Now they can call you anytime, any day. It's right there in your pocket. They have access to you. They can message you. They can, send you emails, and you can read it right there on the spot. And it's hard to remember a time when we couldn't do that. It'll be much like that. The technology will advance rather quickly if you think about it, but it will not be tomorrow.
Interesting. That image is pulled up. Does that image has a name by any chance, or there is no name for it? Do y'all call it? Does anybody call it anything? That image?
This one that we speak through knows it as the Merkaba. We do not necessarily have a name for it that we could use, access the language of this one to bring that forward for you. It is a frequency. It is not a language that she is familiar with.
I understand.
If that can be accessed at any point, we will bring it to her. Possibly in a dream, we could bring it to her, and then she can let you know if that happens, and you can add it to your video.
Thank you very much. I was just wondering, another thing is, when people see this image, does this symbol does anything to anybody? Does it activate or raise their vibration? Or energy waves, does it do anything for them when someone sees this image by any chance?
Yes, it does. It is the same with all the crop circles. I believe we talked about that before. When you look at the crop circles, it is accessing a memory. It is accessing knowledge, hidden knowledge. And this is what is happening when people look at this image. It is accessing and acting as a activator for lost and hidden knowledge that is deep within themselves. And it is activating a memory and raising their awareness to that. It is something that for each person, it will be a different activation. It will be something. So everyone looking at this image on the screen, you will notice that each and every individual out there watching this video, looking at this image on the screen, if you could tap into each one, you would notice that they're each having a different reaction to it. And it activates through the eye. It activates through the imagery, much like the light language when spoken will activate through the ears. There is activation always going on. There are symbols that are being placed among you that is reminding you who you are. And this would be the same thing. This would be a reminder, an activator of an ancient version of you, or what might seem to be an ancient version of you, and bringing that piece back in to get you more prepared for when you are ready in the frequency to activate with that particular vehicle.
I understand. Thank you very much. So it sounds like this image or symbol is mostly for the 5D aspect or 5D vibration.
We ask you to play with this a little bit. Create this image in your mind and see yourself sitting inside the image and ask for it to take you somewhere. And then see if it takes you to that place in your mind and get it as real as you can. Move it in just like you would work with manifesting. See yourself there standing in this place, sun shining on you, however you want to do that. And have it move you around into different locations. Have it help you manifest and create whatever it is you desire. Use this image in your mind and start creating from there. That will quicken the activation for you. That will quicken your journey to creating this in the physical realm. So this was actually a very good question, because we are seeing that you can play with the energy of this vehicle with the third eye imaging. The third eye can already take you there. Now let's move this image in with it and see yourself doing it as if you're manifesting and creating, moving through time and space, moving through locations, and dimensions in this vehicle, and you will start creating that in your reality. It will happen for you faster.
I understand. I think one last question would be this symbol. Is this symbol, you mentioned ancient times, or is this around the time of Atlantis by any chance?
We like Atlantis. Atlantis technology. Atlantis had some of the abilities that we speak of for sure. This is definitely a very powerful energy when we speak of Atlantis. But when we look at the ancient times, we want to take you back even further.
Wow.
There is this planet has had many cycles of life forms on it, and Atlantis is a beautiful one that is very accessible by many here. Many of you who are listening have had experiences in lifetimes with Atlantis, with Lemuria, with all of these civilizations that we speak of, but they do go back even further.
Wow.
They go back to a civilization that used a lot of the symbology, a lot of the light language that you'll see coming through. They used a lot of that imagery, a lot of we are looking at the pyramids as an ancient symbol for you, or moving back even further. There are so many references and so many versions and realities of your planet that, again, we get into that convoluted piece, but there are other civilizations that we are referencing that are even more ancient than Atlantis.
Wow.
And there were oracles and magic, so to speak, or people who knew how to work with the energy and how to create and connect with the other planetary beings, much like what we are doing here, but even differently yet. They were able to communicate with these beings through some of the energy that they were creating and through technology that is not found here at this time and may not return to this planet, at least not in your lifetime. But it is time, as we all know, time is irrelevant. You can go to a time frame when you leave these bodies. You can say, I would like to go have that experience. And you can still go and enter into a time frame or a realm that is in the ancient civilization of this time. One that we would consider ancient could be brand new to you in another lifetime. Does that make sense?
Yes. Timeline wise, older than Atlantis, how far are you going back? Like years? Like how many years you going back? That would be a very interesting question.
That is a very interesting question indeed, and it is one that we will see if we can access for you. This one is trying to fight me. We are giving her a year of 343 billion years ago, and she says, what? That cannot be. But that is the number we would like to give you.
Wow, that's amazing.
And to remember that for those of you who have their history behind them, we may not always be talking about the physical reality you are in. There are many dimensions and many realities of the earth at this time, and this could be accessing one of the other realities is what we want to tell you. This is not the earth history of possibly this version of your earth sphere. What we are seeing is we are seeing 8 ripples of this earth dimension, and we are going back to one of those and then going back in time on that one. And so there is, again, a lot for humans to absorb, a lot of knowledge that is still needing to be accessed so that we can grow and expand the mind to understand how all of this works, how the dimensions, how the alternate realities, how the timelines, how it all works, and how it comes together. It is a little too much for a lot of the ones watching right now. And so we do not want to make it too difficult or too convoluted for you. But there are different realities playing out, and it is a history on one of those realities.
Interesting.
We will keep it at that, just to keep it simple.
Yes, we'll keep it simple, but that's still a great answer. So that's a very interesting topic. So let's see. Is there anything else about that symbol? We talked about if someone's looking at it, if it's on. Oh. Did I wake you? Is that like the musical sign?
This is a symbol that will be activating somebody in the audience.
Oh, okay.
So we had her draw it out for you. This is also a symbol that it will work for many of you that are looking at this. If you can just pause your video at that point and just look at that symbol and just allow it to come into your third eye. It is a symbol that will bring back a memory for you of that ancient civilization we spoke of. Do you want to see it again?
Yes, just
We could feel that.
Nice.
And that will be an activator for memories for some of you to remember the ancient civilization. It used many symbols, and you may be activated to start using some of those symbols or feeling drawn to do what we just did there and draw it out. And we encourage you to do that, as it will continue to activate more memory and more ascension codes for you.
Okay. The triangle shape image, would that help with ascension or raising your vibration by any chance?
The one in the crop circle?
Yes.
Yes, it will.
Okay. And with that being said, you mentioned the 5D Earth and so on, and with the energy wave, we did have another question with that. Is you have the wave that's coming in August, that's a stronger wave, but also is there another stronger wave after that, or is that the last strong wave? Because some people were wondering about that. Like, is it another round of strong energy, or is that the energy where it plateaus and then it goes steady?
One thing we ask you is, there's been a wave that you have been in just currently here in the month of March. And so we ask you, we are not sure that all of you will be watching this video in March of 2019, but you are in a wave right now. And everyone is experiencing it, maybe slightly different. Maybe you're tired, maybe you're highly energized, maybe you're pushing out some old emotions and things like that. So we ask you to pay attention to how you're feeling right now in the month of March. This is an example of how the waves come in and work through you. This one is saying that there are websites that tell you what the symptoms are. It is the Ascension Symptoms websites. You can Google that. She is saying you can Google that. And bring in the information and help you understand and acclimate the energies, because this is mild. This is being gentle to you, and it will get stronger. You'll have a break. You'll have a little bit of a break where it'll feel like, okay, this feels good again. And then the next wave will come through. Yes, we have the August wave, and then there will be 3 smaller waves that follow that one to kind of, as you would say, do the cleanup work. Go in and move through the little fragments that didn't quite make it out in the big wave. And then we're looking to see if we can find where the next more powerful wave will be. If you have all seen the picture where you have the two Earths, and you have the old 3D Earth and you have the new 5D Earth, and they're pulling apart, and it's like there's this film that goes between them. And maybe if you were able to find a picture of this, you could post it on here on the video. But it is pulling apart, and you can see that it's still attached with that little film that connects the two. These waves are very essential in bringing that connection piece, making it thinner and thinner until we get to the point where the two Earths will separate. And so what we are saying with that is these waves must continue to be stronger and stronger, because Source would like for as many as possible to make it over to the side of the new Earth. But you will not go to the new Earth if you are not in a vibrational match, because the new Earth will not tolerate the old way of being. So you have to be ready to release your attachments to the old way of being. Release your attachments. Find the ego. Find your ego and release it. Find your jealousies and release. Find where you are not forgiving yourself and others and release it. Be ready. It will be worth the work you do to be ready. And these waves are designed to help it surface. And if you ignore it, it gets more painful. It gets more agonizing. You get sadder. You get sick. And I'm not saying that if you are sick, that it means that you are not moving that energy out. A lot of times when we recognize as the human body, when you're recognizing that which needs to be purged out, it shows up and surfaces as a symptom, like a head cold or a sore throat or a physical, maybe a stomach ache or a flu bug, and you start purging the energies out that way in a physical form. Everyone will be different. And so we do, again, ask you to find your resources on the internet with maybe looking for the symptoms, because there are so many that you may not identify with what your neighbor is doing or your best friend, but you may be having the same kind of purging going on. And so we do ask that you just be gentle with yourself and ask Source to bring in the best version of you that you are capable of. And that's all we can ask. And as you keep doing that and you do it over and over, you will find that each and every day you start getting lighter and lighter, and your vibrational field will start attracting better circumstances to you, different people to you, like-minded people to you. And then you'll find yourself in this high vibration and these wonderful conversations that are a little deeper than your regular conversations when you go out into that 3D world and you talk about the weather. How fun is it to go into your 5D world and say, so how's your ascension today? It is a much different conversation, and it is way more exciting and deeper, and the connections are deeper, and you're going to keep working towards that. So these waves will get a little bit stronger. They will, they usually, what we have seen on our end is they will bring in a strong wave, and then they'll bring in some sweeper waves, as we will call them, and then bring in a strong wave. They will never give you more than what you can handle. And so just keep your angels and guides close to you. Ask for their help. You need to ask for their help. You have to invite them into your existence in order for them to help you. So we do ask for that. As this one says, you are a free will being, and you need to invite them. They have to wait to respond, so you need to invite them in so that they can help you. And they will. They will come in and they will help you move that energy as best they can.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. For you mentioned the 3D and the 5D Earth, and that you had an image about how they were separating. Mm-hmm. Is that a physical separation, or is that just like an energy type of separation? Because some people are afraid that some people, like their loved ones, will be left on the 3D Earth, and then the others, the ones that have a higher vibration, is going to go to the 5D Earth. But if you could just explain that, what if someone, a loved one, is 3D, and the other loved one is 5D.
That is fear. That will keep you very connected to that loved one in 3D. You have to let go of the fear and the attachment. And we know that this is a very hard conversation to have because there are so many loved ones, and not everybody is on this ascension path or ready to expand into this idea that there is a fifth dimensional earth waiting for them. When the separation happens, there will be different ways to look at this reality that is occurring. There are many who are already experiencing the fifth dimensional reality at this time and still commingling with the third dimensional people that are their loved ones. We say to you, fear not that the loved ones will be separated, because if they are anywhere near your energy field, then they are also being activated, and they are on their ascension path as well. It is like the ripple in the pond. You are the ripple. You are the activator. Do not look at this vehicle like this is the activator. Do not look at these conversations that we are having as the activator. You are the activator. You are the one that is activating the loved ones. You are the one that is bringing enlightenment and ascension into their world, whether you are having the conversation or just standing next to them with your high vibration. So we say to you, don't worry if they're not listening to the videos or if they're not doing, step 1, 2, 3. You are doing these steps, and that is what you came here to do. That is what the volunteers are here to do. They're doing the steps, and they are going out into the world, and they are standing among the people. These codes are being accessed by everyone. They are in the sun that hits your skin. They are in the air that you breathe. These codes are there, and more and more and more people. As this energy gets into the collective, as this thought form gets into the collective, and everyone is tapped into the collective, you cannot get away from that. And so as you release the fear that your loved one will be joining you in the fifth dimension, then you release that block, that thing that was, this one, it's a little difficult because we want to make sure you understand how this is working. The fear that a loved one will not make it with you is blocking you.
Makes sense.
And when you are blocked, how will you activate them? So we don't say it is impossible to activate them, but as you become more in love with this energy and with what is happening and letting go of the fear and allowing for the flow, and then you go and spend time with these people that you care about. This one went to Reno, and Jason asked her about Reno. How was Reno? And she just kind of went on to another subject. But she did something in Reno that we gave her this idea to do, and we're going to give it to all of you. And now she is understanding why this happened. She was with a friend who went to an award ceremony for the company that they worked for. So this is a very corporate environment. This is not a room full of highly enlightened beings having conversations about ascension. This is a corporate environment where they are talking numbers and figures and who profited more and how much more money can we make. And you know what we had her do? We had her take her light and ground it into that hotel. And she grounded it into the hotel, and then she expanded that light out into every room, every facet, every conference that she was sitting in. Even in the elevator, she intentionally expanded her light into that elevator when other people got on it with her. And she did not know why she was doing that fully. She understood that she was sharing the codes. And so she was expanding her light intentionally, with intention, not just standing there and, oh, you bumped into my aura, now you have the codes. She expanded her aura out. When she was standing in the groups of people, she would expand her aura out. And she was greeted by very, very kind people, and people that she didn't even know because she had a name tag on. They would say hi to her when she passed by. Hi, Tracie. And she'd be like, what? Oh, yes, name tag. But why would they reach out to her like that? She did not know anybody. She did not work with those people. It was her friend that worked with those people. It was because she was shining that light and she was sharing that light, and they were drawn to her. And so we were giving her evidence that it was working. It was waking them up. And they may not feel it for a few days, but then they'll start noticing that they are drawn to subjects that are going to wake them up further. They are drawn to symbols. They might not know why they're looking at that symbol, but there's something that's registering within them that is helping them to wake up. So we say, do not lose faith about those loved ones, because they are good people. They will not be left behind. And one of the things that we would also like to address, as this seems to be the idea behind it, is that this group of 5D is going to springboard off of this 3D and go out into its own dimension, and everybody's going to be celebrating on the 5D earth. And if you were that close but you didn't quite make it, you're stuck on the 3D earth, and that is not the case. There will be many, many good people, many people who try hard and do their best every day that maybe just are not quite there with their awakening, that will be brought to what we are calling the healing space, the healing domes, the healing tents, or whatever you want to call them. And they will finish their awakening process in the healing dome and be brought up to speed so that they can join their brothers and sisters on this other reality, in this fifth dimension of like-mindedness, of collective thinking. So this is not to be feared that they will be left behind. There are many that will be ascending. They will just be in a healing space before they join you in the reality.
Thank you. That was a good explanation. You brought up a good point. The healing domes, are these physical healing domes, or is this energetic healing domes?
They are physical healing domes. Mm-hmm. There are volunteers already working on them, and they are being constructed in the fifth dimension. And many have already been constructed. I believe you can find videos on them. I do not recall the channel that brings those through, but there is a physical space that is being created for the physical people that will be moved to the physical space.
Interesting. What is the purpose of the healing dome besides healing? But is this the healing domes? Is this to help someone raise their vibration? Is this for them to physically heal like a sickness? Or that would be an interesting question.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we say yes to it all. It is the emotional healing. It is the physical healing. It is the spiritual, mental. It is healing on all levels. Think about the ascension process that you have been through, where, you have baby stepped yourself. This one has been on her ascension process since she was 19 years old. So this is almost 30 years now that she has been on this process. And those who are starting to wake up now are more on a fast track of the ascension, and it is moving much faster. And in these healing domes, it'll move even faster than the fast track group that is here. But in this ascension process, we have to heal those old wounds, those old heartaches, those illnesses. The idea that we could even carry an illness within the vibration of the body needs to be healed. That old thought program, that old pattern, that old belief system needs to be healed. And we also will be working with the ancestral healing around that, because some of this has been passed down through many generations. The belief system that, great grandma had it, grandpa had it, mom had it, I have it. No more.
You talking about genetics? Inheritance?
We talk about genetics, inheritance of, rather it be cancer or any other disease. We could name many diseases where people claim it because it has been in the generation before and the one before that. And well, great grandpa died of heart disease. Now this is happening. Now that's happening. I must have it. You are creating your own reality with that, and this belief system will be cleared.
Thank you. The healing domes, how do they heal? Like, is it
The,
crystals or something, or?
there will be let's see if we can look at this. There will be healers at the healing domes, is why they are called healing domes.
Okay.
There are volunteers there that will be working with the people, helping them to bring in their awakening and their enlightenment. But there is also a vibration or frequency that will be stabilized in this space to help elevate and bring the energies up and help to dissolve and eliminate the lower thought vibrations that are keeping people bound to the illness, to the belief system, to the not worthy, to the unforgivable, the things that are locking them into that the vibrations and frequencies will help them to let go of those things.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Oh, this would be an interesting question. With the 5D Earth, what would the average daily life will be like for individual? Well, because some people think, they don't have to go to work anymore, or they don't have to do anything. Once when they're in the 5D, everything's taken care of. But from what I understand, there's still going to be work that needs to be done. We still have to do things, create things, and
yes,
and so
you would not want to live in a world where you did not have anything to do. That would be very boring for you. Your minds, think about your minds now. We could get very bored down here, she says. If you are not keeping your mind stimulated with things to do and things that you enjoy, when you get onto a subject that you are passionate about, is it hard to stop you from talking about it? Because you are passionate about it, so you want to share and you want to talk and you want to meet people that do this thing. It'll be much like that, only everybody's going to be passionate about something. It won't be that daily grind, as you might say, as yes, things will be easier to manifest and create, and you will be able to materialize things that you need in this world without, so to speak, labor. But you will always have the mind, and the mind will always want to know more and expand and grow. And you will want to be creative with your hands and build and create and do things and make things. And there will be jobs and there will be councils, so to speak, to oversee things, and there will be things to do in these realities, in this reality of the fifth dimension. It is not a get off free card of sitting in front of the Xbox all day and playing video games. It will be for those who have already stepped into their fifth dimensional reality. Did they have to quit working? No, they still have their material world in the third dimension to take care of, and they're still doing their work, but now they're doing it with more bliss and more joy, and they are able to enjoy it. And let's say you go to work, you go to a job. Well, in this reality of the earth that we have going now, we have so many people that are so indebted and so burdened that they are working two jobs. They're coming home beat and tired, and they don't like the work they're doing. There's nothing fulfilling about it. This is what will be gone. You will not believe for that job anymore. You let go of the fear that that is the job you have to have, and then you open your mind and your heart up to, I could do something I love. And then you start attracting that, and you start attracting the way to create your abundance from that. When you are working from a place of the heart, from a place of joy, and you are doing that with people and healers, there are so many healers listening right now. When you are out doing your healing work, I get this one gets asked all the time, would you do this if you weren't getting paid? Of course, I'd love to do the work. I would do this. That is the job you go for. That is the one that you do. You find the job that you would do no matter what, if you're getting compensated or if you're doing it just because you love to do it. And when you come from a place like that, the universe finds a way to provide for you. And if it is this material world like you are in at this moment, where you do need the money, when you are doing a job you love, the universe will help you find a way when you let go of the fear. Because some of you are listening going, the universe hasn't helped me find a way yet. When you let go of the fear that this cannot happen, when you let go of the doubt and you start to put the faith in, okay, universe, show me how. Show me how to create the income I need to support my family, to support myself, and do the thing I love to do. And then follow your guidance. It will happen. It will come in. Just come from the heart. And that is more of what the 5D will be like. The new earth will be people working from a heart space and providing for their families through that, and through creating, again, life will be much easier there. There is not going to be lack in this reality. And when there is no lack, then you have everything you need, and it is easier. You will not work the long 10-hour days, or the 6 days a week with 1 day off, where you're passed out all day and then 6 days a week again. There are so many people that are working so hard right now just to make their bills, to make their obligations. And a lot of you may be listening right now, and we say to you, this is not a reality that is serving you. Ask Spirit to help you make the changes, to step into this reality of coming from a place of joy when you come to your work. And this will not come without its challenge, let me tell you. Spirit may say, okay, go to that job you work 10 hours a day on your feet all day on the cement, and be happy there. Go be happy there. When you can make joy out of that job, that is your commitment to making joy for your life, and then your life will change. And we have seen it happen many, many times. Be happy where you are. Find joy where you are. That is how you manifest and create the energy. When you find joy where you are, then that is the magnet that you are putting out, and that is what the universe brings to you. So then it brings more things you're going to be enjoying, more things you're going to like, and next thing you know, that amazing job that you never thought you could ever get, there it is, and it's right in front of you, and you are shining like a beacon when you go to your interview, and then all of a sudden now you're working this job that you can't wait to get up in the morning and go do. So you have to start where you are. Find the joy. What is the feeling you desire? And find it where you are. And create it there first. That is where you break through the chains, you break through the shell, and you start knocking down the walls, and the universe can start bringing you your true desires on a platter. They'll do it on a platter.
One small question. So it sounds like we're still going to have cars, vehicles, and cruises in the 5D Earth.
Cruises.
Vacations.
This one went on a vacation when you said that. Oh. Yes, you will still have a lot of your world. Keep in mind, you are experiencing right now, Jason, you are experiencing versions of the fifth dimension already, and you still have those things. You still have them around you. As this reality separates from the lower reality, the only thing you are really losing is the fear.
Interesting.
You're losing the fear. Like you just popped it off of there and said, no more of that. And you put it down, no more fear. Lose the fear. And then think about how your world will advance when you are no longer being held down in this place of fear, and in this place of lack, and in this place of bad health. And then everything can expand. Knowledge will expand. The way the vehicles you drive will expand. They will change. They will evolve now because they can. Because there is no limit. Everybody is limitless now. And can you imagine when you open your mind to the limitless possibilities as a collective, how quickly the advancements will come in? It will be very fast moving advancements once you are in that reality.
I'm very excited.
Mm-hmm.
Here's an odd question, and this might help out some of the viewers that might have this question in the back of their minds, but why the 5D? If, like, why we're going from the 3D to the 5D? Is there a certain, besides dropping the fear, raising our vibration and so on, is there a reason behind that by any chance?
There is. Let's see if we can get into this juicy little piece of question you have here.
Yes, it's a good question for us as people that will see this probably in the future.
So what do we show you here? What we will bring in for you here is expand your mind to how many other life forms there are in your galaxy. And everything is evolving. Everything is moving. The Earth was the last one that needs to evolve. It's the last one that needs to raise the vibration before the entire galaxy can move to its next thing. Mm-hmm. So why all the volunteers? Why do we have this collective of people that are pushing so hard and so heart dedicated to making this happen? It's because it was the last chance for the Earth to join the group. And the idea that this piece to the puzzle needed to make it. That is why you have beings from all over. We have the Arcturians, we have the Imperials, we have the Syrians, we have the Orion Councils, we have councils. We've talked about that before.
Yes.
There are many, and that is why they all gather around this little planet and they're watching and they want to see the success of the planet, because the success of this planet is the success of everyone. As everyone has been waiting to move and see what's next. What happens next? And there is no way for any of us to fathom what that holds. This is uncharted territory for everyone, and you may have heard that before. This is uncharted territory.
Mm-hmm.
None of us know what this is. None of us know what that next thing that we graduate to will be. But we are cheering and cheering for this to happen because it is a great moment for everyone, for the collective. And we do not mean the collective of humans or the collective of the Arcturians or the collective of the Palladians. We mean the collective of everyone in this galaxy.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. It was a big question.
Yes, I'm glad I asked it. Mm-hmm. If you don't mind me asking, why were we the last piece?
You are the youngest planet.
The youngest planet?
Mm-hmm. It is not personal.
I know it's part of the experiment.
And this planet, yes, you call it the experiment, and it is the free will. The free will has this planet. It is not the only one that has fought against itself, so to speak. You know, the wars, the separations, the isolation of groups, or however you want to look at it. It is not the only one that experienced that by any means, but it is a very beautiful and unique planet to the stars, to the collective, and it is a beautiful evolution to watch the planet itself evolve into its next phase, as well as the people that have been so committed to the cycles of reincarnation on this planet to do the evolution with it. And it is when you get to see it from the bigger perspective, when you get to see it when you are no longer in these physical bodies and you have the infinite information come back into your consciousness from your high self, or your oversoul has this information, and you could get access to little bits of it. But it is when you get that bigger picture, there will be so many dots that get connected, but there is no way to connect those dots when you are in the human form. There is no way for your mind to completely understand and comprehend the vastness of this project, or experiment, as you call it. There is so much more going on, and it is a very exciting time.
I believe it. It seems like every week something new is coming up.
Mm-hmm. This little dog over here is very excited as well.
Nice. You.
Mm-hmm. Nope, won't come to me.
Uh-oh. You mentioned.
We are still here. Go ahead.
Okay. I didn't know if you had to pick up the dog.
It wants to play. She is telling us it will not let us pick her up because she will run and want to play. So go ahead.
Well, since we brought up the dog, can the dog sense your energy, your being?
Mm-hmm. The dogs here are very used to the energy because we come in at night when this one is sleeping, and they sleep in her room. Mm-hmm. And so they are very attuned to us as well, very familiar. So this is the question that do they realize that we are in the vehicle at this time?
Yes, that's a good question. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we believe that they are very aware of that. That is why the big one came in right away when you were starting. You could feel the energy shift, and he came in.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay, well, we thank you for inviting us back, and we look forward to next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
So part of the fun part of that was when Latte came in to bark, she thought it would be fun to bite the toes. Like, I hope that doesn't bring me back in and kick them out. But they actually, the energy that was talking today was actually quite entertained by it. So
interesting.
Yeah, the dogs were very active today. But that's okay. That's good. Now I'm looking at this going, oh yeah, let's do it one more time. Everybody look at that. That's very cool.
Did they say anything else about that symbol other than it activates certain things? Did they say anything else? Like,
I don't even remember what they said about the symbol.
Okay.
What did they say?
But we were about to find out pretty soon.
We're about to find out. That was supposed to activate some people, right?
Yes. There's some individuals that need that symbol.
Huh. Very cool.
I thought it was a musical note at first.
Well, when I was drawing it, I thought so too. But yeah, I mean, it kind of. I was asking, is that accurate enough? And they're like, good enough. It's the intention. It was the intention behind it. So, but it looked quite a bit like that in my head. Anyway, I don't know. I don't remember what it was for. I just remember it was supposed to activate some people.
Yes.
So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was a lot of information coming in. There was just a lot of things happening. That vehicle thing was kind of cool.
Yes. I'm glad. The answers for that is pretty amazing. So it's a lot more than what I thought that it meant.
Yeah, and I think I kept trying to make it a physical thing too. Like you kept asking, is this a vehicle that we'll have? And I could hear them laughing in my head because they're like, no, it's energy. It's energy. Like
once when you said that, it made more sense. So yeah, like it's physical. It's an energy.
It really kind of just expands outside of us. Like we create this grid around us with our thought, and we'll create that grid and then set the intention of where we want to go or something, and then it'll take us there.
Yeah.
It looked pretty cool. I was like, can we do it now? We could
Yeah.
start doing these in person. So, yeah. Anyways, it was really quite fascinating as that was playing out in my head, how that was working. And they were showing me these other lines that are on the picture, which I'm guessing will be put on the video here. It was kind
Yeah.
of showing. So when you look at those lines, you know how they say, you know, the dimensions will touch, or, you know, time travel. That's what they're doing. That's what those other
Nice.
lines are. They're bringing point A to point B, and that's how you're traveling. They're what is that called? I can't think of it but you know what I'm talking about, when
The
the folds of
timelines
time.
touch,
Yeah, when the
merge.
folds of time touch or whatever, and then you'll bounce from one to the other, and that's how you travel. And that's what all those other lines in there are showing us.
Wow. I'm glad I decided to talk about that image. For me, it
Yeah.
was more personal, so I wasn't gonna share it.
Oh,
but now it's all this great information about it. It's like, okay, I don't think I have a choice.
yeah. Yeah, and it is an activator, and it's bringing back the memories of how to do it. But they can't. I mean, now is too soon.
Yes.
People would be able to do it.
All in good
Well,
time.
one, we're not. We haven't evolved enough to do it. But two, if with yeah, there just needs to be a bigger collective. It's probably more so going to be when we make that final shift over. Oh, and the healing domes. That was cool.
I heard about those, so that was interesting. I heard about those.
Yeah, and they were showing them to me. I totally forgot about it. I'd heard about them a long time ago, and I was like, yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. And then all of a sudden, here it comes, they're showing me, and there's all these people walking around in what maybe with like little white uniforms or whatever, and it's very white. It's like everything here is white. So I don't know if there's a reason why it was so neutral in color. I'm not sure if that was just for my reference points or if it's just really that neutral in color, but there's frequencies set in those domes, and there's different domes, so it depends on what frequency you're ready to receive, and then you'll go into that space and spend time in there and create that healing. There will be teaching going on. There will be, you know, the little Buddhas in there telling everybody what they need to know and helping them create that shift and release the old stuff that's they've been shackled with. And so it's kind of cool to see it.
Yeah. For me, I thought the healing domes were not necessary. I thought that was the old timeline where they needed the healing domes. But since it was brought up this go around, I'm like, that's interesting. I think.
Well, I think it was because of the question about the ones that might be left behind.
Yeah.
It was to take the fear out of it, because the only ones that are really going to be left behind are the ones that really are dark. You know, anyone that is willing to, you know, there's a lot of really good people out there that, I mean, there's a lot of religions out there that have brainwashed a lot of people, and they're really good people.
Right.
And sorry if that's offensive to anybody. I don't mean to be, but what I was seeing is that, you know, there's some really good people out there that maybe wouldn't buy into some of this ascension stuff, and so they're not going to get left behind. They have good hearts. They're good people. They're
like reincarnation. You know, a lot of people don't believe in that. So
right. Yeah. So there's nothing really to fear, because their plan is to get as many of us as possible, and they're definitely not leaving behind any children. So if you have children, don't fear that. Or if you have a sibling that's taken down a bad path or on drugs or something like that, if their heart is good, they're coming along, and they're just going to go to the healing domes first.
Right.
So.
Yeah, because a lot of people are concerned about that. So I know that's a lot of people's questions on their mind. So
yeah, it was kind of good to see that, because I didn't even think about that. Oh yeah, well, that kind of helps ease some of that, because when you ask that question, I was like, oh yeah, I guess there could be. I started thinking about my own family members in my mind. Why the conversation was taking place. And I was like, oh, but the way that they were showing that is like, that's not something to worry about at all.
Exactly. And I asked, like how the healing domes are set up. I'm like, is there like crystals in it or something like that? Because I remember one of the stories in Atlantis that they had healing domes, but they had crystals in the ceiling. So that's why I was.
So when you asked that, I don't remember what the answer was, but what they were showing me, like if it's a dome, you've got these poles, right? Whatever those poles were made of, those were like whatever the crystalline energy, the poles. When you said that, they were showing me poles lighting up, and that those were the things that were carrying the frequency into the dome. I could maybe that's right, maybe it's not. I don't know.
Interesting. No, that's interesting.
Yeah, and I didn't think about that until you asked Chris a question. I'm like, oh, they did show me that those were lighting up, and to me it felt like energy, like a crystal. So that could have been activated by crystals. I don't know. That might be something to further look at. But,
well, time will tell. That's for sure.
That's right. So anyways, very good. Lots of information.
Yes. Lots of good stuff. So absolutely. And we got your angels and guides and questions out the way on that one.
Oh, yeah. They were showing the angels. They were this bright light, and they kind of came in and then out like this, like their energy did this little almost hourglass thing. And then they were just really bright. And, but then they were kind of showing off in a sense, not that angels show off because they really don't have an ego to do that, but they were just kind of showing how they could just shift into whatever, they could shift into whatever they want to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but they do take delight in doing the human form with the wings, because that's what we made them.
Absolutely. That's what we gave them.
Yep. So they do it for us. They'll show up like that. And but it's really neat to look at the angels. So, asking if you can see the angels in their true form might be a fun question for people to ask too. Show me your true form and see what comes through, because that's one of the things I do in the Ascension things now when I take people through Ascension, their Ascension sessions, is I want you to see yourself in your true form. Wherever it fits in their session, they look at themselves in their true form. And a lot of times they are just like that angel. They're this energy body. And the feeling that they get as this energy body is always fun to hear about too. So good stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I think that covers everything. So we had a lot of good things to talk about. So
we did. It was really good.
Yeah.
Very fun. All right. I guess we can let you go now.
Yeah. Let's wrap it up. And for anybody watching this video, just want to say thank you for the comments that y'all been leaving, me and Tracie, to bring up certain topics. Very helpful, because it helps us talk about certain things and also what's on your mind. So thank you for subscribing, and thank you for the love, the thumbs up. So
yeah,
appreciate it. So
we really do. Yeah, it's not always so easy this is very vulnerable, just so you know. This is a vulnerable thing to do. And so when you give thumbs up, and we've been getting some good feedback and very positive things.
It does help. It helps.
It does help. Keeps me on track with doing it, because it's a little intimidating. So thank you, everybody. All right. Thank you, Jason.
All right. Say bye-bye.